right, we almost had it, folks. We almost had a game that we could just chillax, relax, smile our way through, and just wait the next week with the glow of victory and easy win. But as the Dolphins world turns, drama is always one step away. And you know the elephant in the room. It's a big elephant. It's a very concerning elephant. But I don't want to talk about it just yet. I mean, we had the best 11 game start in 20 plus years. I've been doing this for 43 years. I don't remember this kind of excitement to this point of the season and beyond since 1992. That's a long time ago. It's 30 years. And so I want to take this moment to just talk about the positive stuff in a bubble, and then I'll get to the rest of the stuff because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So we've got to just enjoy this moment. And there was so much to be happy about before we get to the rest of the stuff. Now, as I said, best 11 game start in, since the flood. 8-3, 6 games left, and we need about 3 wins. That's unbelievable, folks. We're at the door. We're knocking. We are truly knocking. Now, unfortunately, nothing's guaranteed, but we got to see the potency again. I mean, we got to hold everything in the context that the Texans are terrible. I mean, they're terrible. Terrible on offense, terrible on defense, but we were doing more than your average Bear against a terrible team. We were eviscerating them 27-0. This was looking like bye-week light for that last critical stretch, and it was such a smooth ride up until that point. Tua, 22-36, which it should have been much better ratio there, but we know what, the pressure situation. 299 and 1 TD. He had the 2 drops by Waddle, a couple little off throws, especially the one, the Hill, that really got Hill lit up. But other than that, Tua was lighting up, and Tua had those movement skills. It was so good. Guys come in, and he made a couple of guys fall trying to get to him. He scrambles up, makes a throw. He shows that he has enough movement skills to make people look stupid. He's not going to do the Vic. He's not going to do the Lamar or the Allen, but he's a mobile breeze. And to me, given his frame and his style, I'd rather have him be like this than the guy who can run, because then he's going to run and take a lot more hits, and I don't want that. I want my quarterback to throw and only run on occasion when it's necessary, especially to get up in the pocket and get out of pressure. And it's exactly what he does. Some nice touch passes, some nice deep passes. But we could clearly see that things changed dramatically once Terron got down. Wait. Don't talk about it, Curtis. I'm going to get weepy. I'm getting into it too early. Let's stay positive. Waddle, yeah, he dropped the one. And the yellow one was it was the only way he could put it was high. And he almost had it, and that was almost a great catch. But he did have that great catch at the end. To me, that's what this kid is. He's young. His hand's going to develop. But this guy's a big play kind of guy. And he's going to get those drops to be catches as he moves along. Second year. And look what he's doing. And it was really impressive to see him not get down and keep fighting through it. It would have been very easy for the Dolphins not to go to him and for him to kind of not make that big play at the end. And that was a big catch. And so I like that. I also like to see Kohu. He had a very good game. He's fitting in that mold that I'm talking about. I've been talking about for a while as a zone cover corner. He got beat on that deep one, and that happens now with regularity. The evaluation, the chain of data points is really saying, kind of like to the top of the mid-clock to late clock, he chases a little too much and guys get open. He's not really meant to be a man guy. Now, we got to give him time. He's earned the right to keep fighting to be a man cover guy. But I know from what I saw, the hits, the way he played this game among the past, you put him in, like a Tampa defense, old Jimmy Johnson zone defense with, pressure coming inside. This guy will do a great job fighting off blocks, making tackles, jamming, exploding off his zone coverage and making the tackles, and even interceptions and breakups and all that stuff. But the man thing is a little dicey. I'm not sure. But I personally want to move away from this zero stuff anyway. And this kid's so good that it might force the Dolphins to rethink things and continue that process to kind of move away from the zero. So he had a really, really good game. And you could see I love Van Ginkel getting his pick. I love that kid. Phillips, pressure all day. And some of that was on Tunsil. And Tunsil's good, you know. So, yes, the Texans' offensive line is, you know, and the team's, but there was some individual wins along that line, Chubb and Phillips, and you could see this defense truly can be that organic four-man pressure zone defense. And I think Kohu is moving it towards that, and it's great. 27-0 until and I'm going to get to that after I say thanks for coming by, because you know, some people just want to hear the good stuff. So I'm going to say thanks for coming by. I appreciate everything you guys do. Fin fans, non-fin fans, you guys make the channel go. I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to Ace Spread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Spread's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, there's other things to be positive about, but got to deal with the elephant in the room. Partially because my man Terron, and I say that to have fun, but I really do mean that. When you watch tape as much as I watch tape, and you see this offensive line year after year gutting possibilities, to have him come in along with Connor and Hunt, it has been perfume on a pile of doo-doo when you watch as much tape as I do. I think the guy is great, coming in with the Merino jersey, the way he helped Eichenberg after his issues, the way he talked. They asked him, they said, well, do you think one man makes that big a difference? He's like, no, we all work. He is a class act. He's a great player on the field, as a character, as a person, as a leader. And I said he's the MVP of the season before the season started. And, you know, I said when Tua came back, it's Tua and Terron. And it looks like he has a pec injury. I don't know the severity. But it was serious enough for them to say he's out and kind of end early. And I don't like the way that's trending. And even if you take into account, he's got the toe, he's got the Achilles, he's coming back from the knee, and then you add a pec in. He was already having a hard time fighting to be a good tackle at this stage. This pec injury, even if it's survivable, is going to make things very hard. This is very concerning. He's irreplaceable. He is the foundation of this team. You could see it when he left and Shell came to fill his spot in and Jackson was on the other side. The whole team kind of started going like this. And this is not to say Hill, and now you also have to add in Hill. I think things would have been a little bit better if Hill was out there with Waddle. It would have created more leverage where the pass blocking wouldn't have been so critical. But the combination of Hill and Terron was devastating. But this is the worst defense in the league. And my concern is without Terron, against better defenses, and I'll get to that, we're going to have a lot of problems. And sadly, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And Terron does so much. I'm going to do a tape after this one to kind of show that the players that were going on around him, where they were heading. I'm going to dig into it tonight because it's on my mind. I mean, it's like on my mind. This is DEFCON, was it 1, 5? I don't know, whatever. The worst. This is red alarm concern. Now, he could come back next week, and that's what I'm praying for. we've got to put off the prayers of the Findom together because he is the corner. I'm getting all nervous. He is the cornerstone of this team. Without him, we're in big trouble, guys. Now, Jackson, I'm going to talk about the next one. He's terrible. There's no reason for him to come in. And you got to ask yourself, who's making these evaluations to have him start? He's terrible. He's as bad as he was last year. We were told we're going to see the best football. No way. He was terrible. And now he's got the ankle injury and he's out. This is like weird. Why is he back? And why are we told things that are obviously not true? And if the people who tell us these things are not lying, they believe it, then they're kind of screwy. I'll leave it at that. Shell, you could see, I'll show you the film later, because I want people to understand what I'm saying. He was beat so many times to the outside when he was on the left side. And people will say, well, no, it's because he's on the left side. On the right side, which we'll probably see this week because Jackson probably won't be back, and that means a little will be on the left side. Scary. If my man Terron ain't back, it's going to happen because Terron, as I said, is able to block alone and send the help all the way to that side. He'll get exposed on that right side by speed and agility. Not as much on the left, but pretty close. And that's a concern. I don't understand why he didn't start at right tackle and we didn't just run the football heavy inside, because this is like the 31st worst run defense in the league. I didn't like that game plan. And whatever. Robert Jones, you could see how he had issues without Terron. A lot of people don't understand how two guys next to each other on the offensive line, a really good player can help that younger or less talented or growing player out so much. But you could see once Shell was there, how he was exposed several times. It's not to say Jones sucks. It's not. But he has a skill set, and if you play within that skill set, like you saw last week and the week before, this guy could do well. But when you go outside that skill set and you don't have that protection of Terron, there is problems. And this is a concern for me as well. We have incongruent pieces on the offensive line. Hopefully that gets fixed. Hopefully it's not true. Hopefully Terron comes back. Hopefully I'm wrong and all this other stuff. But this is my take at this stage. Now, people say, well, what's the collapse? We took the announcers. Those were some of the worst announcers I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going to get into something on the side that was really bothersome. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, I got to think about it, make it sure it's right because, whatever. You'll see. But they're like, oh, they took the foot off the pedal. No, Terron was gone. They couldn't run. They couldn't pass. The whole thing collapsed because the offensive line broke down. That was it. End of story. They never really even spoke about that. I mean, I said, oh, Terron's a big piece. And, just typical announcers who they're just talking bloviations that, they're not really getting into the nook and cranny of the game. Now, both those guys probably know more football than I do. But when you look at the film, and I was watching the game, the offensive line was just falling apart. It looked like the Three Stooges there. And that's where it came. It wasn't about taking a foot off. McDaniel could not do what he wanted to do. And to kind of support McDaniel a little bit, we weren't able to run early on either, which was a little concerning considering Texans suck at run defense. So this is going to be a big week. Terron's health, and what do we do with this offensive line? Little and Shell is scary. With Jones at left guard, there is going to be major brilliance to get this thing working because there's lots of problems to deal with, and I'll dig into that later. So, Terron, you could feel the team understand his loss. The defense of the Texans were able to stop the offense And then that was able, then you had the Texans offense feel more positive and able to do things a little more conservative because they didn't think, they're going to get the ball back and score right away. And that's where everything got altered. Again, Baker made that big sack, and we got the win. We needed this win, and we needed to not make it close. We're going against San Fran. Now, my concern if Terron's not in, is he gone for the season? Or he's gone for 5, 6, whatever. He's not going to be back in the playoffs or late. We've got the number 2 pressure defense in the Pats coming up at home. The number 8 pressure defense in the Jets at home, the last game of the season. Next week, we got number 9 with San Fran. I think the week after that, maybe. The week after, not the week after, the week following. The number 10 pressure defense in the Bills. No Vaughn, probably. That's big for us. But still, they can get after the quarterback if they have a couple of these other guys come back. Thankfully, we got Green Bay at home, number 20 pressure defense. And then we got the Chargers away, 29 pressure defense. So those 2 games, we're going to need that little lack of pressure. But honestly, with what you saw the Texans pressure, and they're terrible, Green Bay and the Chargers have me concerned with the pressure they're going to generate. There's going to be a huge focus on this offensive line coming up. So big. These 6 games are, each one is going to be a fight and critical. Can we get through it? We're so close. Anyway, I'm going to go cry. Terron, I really do hope you get better, man. You're a good guy. I want to see you make good here for myself and yours. You've done so much for the team. Get better, brother. Please. It's Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Pray for our man, Terron. We're so close. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.